Labeling the inverter. In this lesson, we're looking at the labels required around your inverter to keep your installation safe, compliant, and easy to service. On this slide, you'll see the mandatory labels and the labels required in specific situations for this part of the system. We'll cover what labels need to say, where they should go, and practical tips for applying them correctly. At the end of this lesson, we'll also look at the labels that are no longer required, as well as highlight some of the common defects we find around inverter labeling so that you can avoid them on your jobs. Clear labeling at the inverter helps inspectors, electricians, and emergency services identify system components quickly and safely. 1. PV array DC isolator label. This label identifies equipment and must be installed adjacent to any PV array DC isolator. Whether it's integrated into the inverter, separate but adjacent, or a rooftop isolator. This is an information label, so you can use black text on a white background, which is fine. Keep it clear and durable, ensuring the adhesive holds over time, especially on outdoor isolators. Number 2, solar DC conduit labels. Any conduit containing solar DC cabling must be labeled solar. Labels at minimum every 2 meters or at any change of direction. Ensure a label is close to the inverter for clear identification. Use labels that don't fade in sunlight and stick well to the conduit material. Labels on the conduit is okay as well, providing it is clear and the correct wording is provided. Number 3, shutdown procedure label. This information label must be installed adjacent to the PCE or inverter, or on it if that's preferred. It must clearly state the words shutdown procedure at the top and then include clear, accurate instructions on how to shut down and re-energize the system safely. Ensure that any equipment names match the actual labels on the equipment for consistency. Number 4, warning label, PV array DC isolators. This is installed adjacent to the PCE and is also often combined with the shutdown procedure label. It must state PV array DC isolators. Do not de-energize the PV array and array cabling. It's your choice to combine with the shutdown label, or you can keep it separate for clarity. Use durable material that won't fade or peel.
Labels only required for the inverter in specific situations.
Number 5, warning multiple DC sources. This label warns that multiple DC isolators are present. It is required when multiple disconnection devices are used and are not ganged together. It is often required when you have more than one DC isolator adjacent to the inverter. And it must state, warning, multiple DC sources. Turn off all DC isolators to isolate equipment. Number 6, inverter AC isolator label. This label identifies the inverter's AC isolator. It is only required when the inverter is installed remotely from the switchboard that it connects to. This label must be installed adjacent to the isolator. Use a clear, fade-resistant label to avoid confusion during servicing or emergencies. Inverter labels no longer required. Number 1. Warning: hazardous DC voltage. This label was previously used for systems exceeding 600 volts DC. This is no longer required as the previous voltage requirements no longer apply. So do not install this label even on commercial systems. This label can be used for a very small amount of systems on a very limited amount of situations. So you may want to keep 1 or 2 of them, but we'll go through that later on in the course. Number 2, solar array on roof label. This was a red label with white text that included the VOC and the ISC fields and basic isolation instructions. It is now outdated and superseded by current warning labels. If you find these in a label kit, discard them to ensure your labeling is up to the current standard.